Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video we're going back over to Reddit because I love it being there, and we're going to look at some relationship threads today. These are quite interesting. Let's get to it. So the first one, my fiance won't clean his room, so I think he will be a bad father. I'm interested how you're getting there, but we'll see. I'm female 40, he's male 44. We've been engaged and living together in a house he owns for 5 years, and we have been together for almost 10 years. We have separate bedrooms because he snores and I'm a light sleeper. His bedroom is disgusting. Stuff is everywhere. Clothes are on the floor, he never dusts, vacuums or washes his sheets. When we have special time or spend time in bed together, it happens in my bedroom. I have told him the mess in his room really bothers me. He keeps saying he will do a better job of cleaning it up, but he never does. His bathroom is filthy too. I clean the rest of the house, but I refuse to clean those 2 rooms. We both want children, but I've told him if he can't even keep his rooms clean, knowing how important it is to me, I believe there will be no way he will do what is necessary in being an equitable parenting partner. Caring for a child is so much work, and if he can't do something as simple as clean up after himself, then there is no way he can clean up and care for someone else. He thinks that belief is unfounded. He claims having a good paying job and paying bills shows he is responsible enough to be a parent. I'm afraid I will end up doing most of the work caring for the baby, and I don't want that. His room is also a hazard to any child who may enter it. I'm running out of time to have children. Part of me wants to just give up and leave. If I stay and never had children, will I resent him? I already kind of do. What should I do? Have a child anyway because I really want to be a parent? Leave and start over with someone else, something else. This problem has been addressed dozens of times over the last few years. Nothing changes. That's an interesting one. So I guess there's a couple of ways we can kind of go around this. One is that his rooms are his rooms. Then if he wants to live like that, let him live like that. The rest of the house is clean and tidy. Just don't go in there. That is probably the thing I would say, and probably what you're doing already. If you're really concerned about a child going into it, just maybe put a lock on the door so they can't get in. Just put it that, that's daddy's room, don't go in there, that's daddy's stuff, and leave it like that. I don't think his tidiness is going to be necessarily equating to how good of a parent he's going to be. I agree that there is concern that if he leaves something out, a child could get it, but is he like this around the rest of the house, or is it just in his private space that he's like this? If you've sort of said to him previously, about this, it's not working, nothing's changing, maybe the conversation you've had wasn't quite right. What if you maybe said to him, well, let's tidy it together, let's kind of get to the source of this, and then you just have to keep it up. Maybe that is the way. Now, do remember you're living in his house. You said that you're living in a house he owns for 5 years, but you've been together for 10. Now, obviously you want it to be your space as well, and you want to feel comfortable, but like I said, it is his space, so it wouldn't really bother me. Especially if I could just shut the door and lock the door and know that no one else could go in there, then that's fine. I appreciate that you feel like you're running out of time to have children. That must be really frustrating for you. It's hard because if you have a child with this person and you're not happy with them and you break up anyway, you're going to be tied to them for the rest of your life. That's really what it comes down to. That is the truth. But what if you leave and then you have to start again and you're having to kind of find and make that relationship again? Now, it's a really hard question. It's a really hard one. So I'm going to go to the comments and see what you guys had to say. This is an interesting topic. His messiness does not mean he'll be a bad parent. That is an objective truth. That's what I'm saying. He may turn out to be a bad parent, but those 2 things are not locked together. I know this because I've seen it with my own eyes. My partner's mum is quite messy and her dad is very clean. Her mum is an amazing mother and raised a wonderful child that I now love. You have both kind of set the foundation for him not needing to care because you have separate spaces. He thinks it's not a big deal because you don't sleep in that room. His mindset is probably, it's my space, it doesn't affect her and I'll deal with it. Obviously it does affect you, but I'm sure that's what he tells himself because of the sleeping arrangement. If it really is that huge of a deal for you, just say in no uncertain terms that you won't have a child with a man who's such a mess. If he's okay with not having a child with you and keeping his mess, then you've got a serious problem and probably need to reevaluate your relationship. That's true. I mean, at that point you are given ultimatums. You need to be 100% sure that he won't call your bluff and be like, well, that's it then, we're done, because I'm not changing. Just be wary of that is what I'd say. So the next one, we cannot say for sure if he will be a bad father because of this. However, I feel like the more concerning thing is that you've asked him to improve the cleanliness of his room and he completely ignored you and did nothing. If you're concerned with his behaviour, I don't think you want children with him. It may be the best for you to leave because unfortunately your time is running out. So two very different answers there. It is hard because you're at that point where you want to have children, you kind of need to know what you're doing. But yeah, like I say, if you're going to give an ultimatum, then be 100% sure of it and be prepared for any answer, any outcome, with it being, my God, I'm sorry, I'll change, to I'm never going to change, find someone else. That's all I really have to say on that one. I held hands with another guy. Me, 19 female, and my boyfriend, 19 male, have been dating for 8 months. Yesterday, he got extremely mad at me when I told him about a performance I had to do for a class with a group in, which me and this other guy had to act out as a couple. Me and the guy had to hold hands, and the guy put his head on my shoulder for the required scene. Also note that this was an improvised performance. My group and I had the general story figured out, but not the specifics. My boyfriend is now calling me unfaithful for letting another guy touch me. Generally, we do have strict boundaries when it comes to the opposite gender. He is saying I should have stopped the performance and started again, making sure the guy knew he couldn't touch me like that. Or I should have signalled in some way to let him know I was not comfortable with it. I have terrible social anxiety. I would not be comfortable with disrupting the class and my group and the rest of my group's performance in order to do that. And in all honesty, it didn't even cross my brain. My teacher also gets extremely pissed off if there's any type of disruptions when I told him about this. He said my teacher doesn't matter when it comes to him. How do I handle this situation? Your boyfriend needs to get a grip. You were holding hands. Okay, and he put his head on your shoulder. That's nothing. You've been together for 8 months for one. You're not married. You're 19 years old. This has been taken way out of proportion, way more than it needs to be, in my humble. You weren't unfaithful. The fact that you are doing something in drama class or performance class and you had to improvise, that's not your fault, but it's also not the same as cheating or being unfaithful. This is bizarre. This is controlling as well. Like, I don't think this is a good situation. I would definitely be saying to him, this is part of my class, this is nothing that I have instigated on purpose, you know, don't worry about it, it's just a class, there's no bearing behind it. If your boyfriend is calling you unfaithful for holding hands, I feel like he is quite controlling and you may want to sidestep this and get out. But let's go to the comments. This guy has some serious low self-esteem. My friend had a girlfriend who doesn't even let him watch movies with even slightly attractive women in it. And he has the worst relationship I've seen in a minute. Talk it out, be transparent, because it sounds like a headache. That's true. Try and communicate, but look out for you first. You've been together 8 months, you haven't been together 8 years. If you decide that actually you need a bit more freedom, do what's best for you. I appreciate the boundaries of, you know, also that you've put. Generally we have strict boundaries when it comes to the other gender. Who doesn't have boundaries about who touches them? That's normal. But if someone went to shake my hand, that's not me being unfaithful. If I went to hug a man, that's not me being unfaithful. So yeah, boundaries I get, because, you know, cheating, don't want to do that, that's bad. Holding someone's hand during a performance class, not a big deal, not cheating. Have a conversation, reevaluate, just make sure that you are doing what's right for you. My boyfriend doesn't want kids. I, 19 female, and my boyfriend, 20 male, have been dating for only 8 months, but we have known each other for 5 years and been romantically talking for 1. Recently I brought up that in the future I want a farmhouse with lots of animals and I want to have children that love animals as much as I do. And I have made this a very clear future goal of mine throughout our friendship and relationship. This is when he texted me a few days ago saying he doesn't know if he wants kids in his future and he is too scared to have a mini him. I have always kind of known I wanted kids, and when he said this it kind of broke my heart, because again, I've always wanted kids. I don't want to push him to have kids if he doesn't want any, and I really don't want to persuade him, because then it wouldn't be something he truly wants. A part of me is wondering if I should end it now and save me the suffering from down the road if he still decides he doesn't want kids. see if he changes his mind down the road, or just not have kids because he doesn't want them. I've even brought up the idea of adoption because I've also wanted to foster kids and help them, but he said he's not super fond of that idea either. I love this man with my whole heart and I just feel lost. I know we are young, but I've been in love with him since freshman year of high school and I don't know if I can walk away from this. Any advice on what to do? I'm so lost, I feel helpless. P.S. I'm not saying I want kids now, I'm looking towards the future. Your boyfriend is 20 years old. This is probably normal for men at 20 years old to not be sure. Now he said he's not sure if he wants to have children. Not that he doesn't. So let's clear that up first. He's saying he isn't sure if children is what he wants, and that's him saying it now. I mean, when you say to anyone about having children, they're gonna think, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get tied down, it's gonna curtail my party, whatever. So do take that into consideration. You are 19 and he is 20. You're very young. People do have kids this young, I know that. I'm not daft. But if you're saying you want to wait till the future, it's not like you're looking to do it right now, like you've said. Now, unless he was seriously like sadistic, why would he be with you if he knew that your plan in the long run was to have this farmhouse, to have these animals, to have these children? It would be really sad if, even though he knew all this, he was still like, I want to be with you, because then it puts you in a position where you've got to decide what you want to do. However, like I say, he is 20 years old. I wouldn't just end this 8-month relationship because of this right now. Give it some time. Have a chance to get to know each other romantically, go on holidays and have trips and do the fun things that you do when you're 19 and you're 20. Live your 20s. If down the road he doesn't decide to have kids, at that point you can decide what you want to do. But I wouldn't throw something away because he's uncertain right now. Things can change. Let him figure out what his future looks like and then he can decide if he wants children. And of course it is going to be scary to think about a mini you running around because it's something you have to look after. It's responsibility. You know, as soon as you think kid, you're thinking, I've got to get a job, I've got to be financially stable, I've got to have a home, I've got to do this, this and this. It's very hard to take in when you're 20 about all of that. So yeah, just give him some time. But let's go into those comments. Find someone who shares equal goals when it comes to kids, otherwise you set yourself up for a problem. Yes, I agree. However, he's 20. Definitely sit down, have a serious chat about life goals. You're both still super young. So I understand it's not a kids tomorrow situation, but if he genuinely doesn't see himself ever wanting children, then it's definitely a compatibility issue. Have that chat. Now I wouldn't have it over text, that's a bit weird, but it's obviously been something playing on his mind that maybe he feels like he can't talk to you about because you really want children. However, have a conversation and say, is this a I never want kids, or I don't think I want kids right now? He may say in 5 years I'll be ready. He may not. Have that chat. But yeah, give him the chance to talk to you and express his thoughts, concerns and feelings. So the last comment on this one, if you're focused on family goals this early, this is a bit concerning. Get through college, find a job, start your career, then think about family goals. But since he doesn't want kids and you do, that is a compatibility issue. I also don't want children. It's more common than you think. Honestly, ask yourself if you actually do want children or if it's peer pressure. If you do, find a new boyfriend. Now, OP has replied to this to say, I'm currently in college for cosmetology school, and it's not that I want children now, it's that I know I want them in the future. I am a feminist, so I have definitely gone through my life choices to see if this was influenced or if I truly want it. I agree with this last comment in the sense of, you know, get through college, find a job, then go from there. And yeah, there could be a compatibility issue, but like I said, he's 20 years old. He probably doesn't even know what he wants to have for dinner today, let alone if he wants children in the future. Does he know what he wants to do with his life? What career is he after? Does he know if he wants to go into higher learning? Any of this sort of stuff. Maybe he's just unsure about a lot of things and that's just something else that he has to now consider that he's now not sure if he wants. But like I say, have that conversation, but do remember you're both extremely young. You both may change how you feel. So the last one is don't want to get married without living together first. Me, 25 male, and my girlfriend, 24 female, have been together for 5 months. We moved pretty quickly and did not wait very long to discuss marriage, buying a home, getting a dog, having kids, the whole lot. We know we aren't getting any younger and don't want to wait until our 30s to try having kids, as she has some health issues that could make it difficult beyond that age. I told her yesterday that I'm not interested in getting married until we have lived together first. I did caveat this by saying if we are together for 4 years and still haven't moved in together, unlikely, then I would consider proposing without living together first. She did not take this very well and interpreted it as me not being sure of our relationship or seeing a future together. Am I being unreasonable by saying this? I will add she's from a religious family who don't want her moving out before she is engaged. Edit. A couple replies have mentioned that jumping into marriage and kids so early in the relationship is not a good idea. I should clarify we have discussed not getting engaged for at least 2 years. When I say we are discussing it, marriage and kids, I mean we're not looking to waste any time with each other, and if we don't at least see a glimpse of a lifelong partner in each other, then let's not continue. I agree that you shouldn't get married until you've lived together. I've had friends who have been together for 10-12 years. They've then moved in together and the relationship has fallen apart because they cannot cope under the same roof. Their habits start to annoy each other, things start to come out, and you know, maybe they leave their socks everywhere, maybe they clip their toenails and leave it on the side, maybe they don't wash up after themselves, maybe they don't shower enough, who knows. But as soon as they've tried to live together, they've just found that they're really not compatible, and that's 12 years of their life that they've now, I won't say wasted, but that's now gone. They've now got to start again. I lived with my husband for 8 years before we got married, 7 years before we got engaged, but that's purely because I wasn't looking to rush into anything. I was 21 when we got together, so I was like, well, let's try and live together. I've not lived with a partner, just me and a partner before, so this is going to be interesting. I appreciate you want to do the whole compatibility thing, because if you're not, fine, I get that. And you are 25, so maybe you are more in a position to think about actually what you want. However, the fact that you're saying that she thinks that you're not sure of the relationship is a little bit insulting. I think what you're doing by suggesting you live together first is ensuring that you are 100% compatible. Day and night, 24/7 in each other's pockets. No, I have had some people say, we'll just go on holiday together, you'll know. It's different. Going on holiday, you know that there is a period it's going to end and you're going to go back to your separate lives and you're happy and bubbly on holiday and it's fine. When you live together, if you argue, there's nowhere to go. You are still in the same house. You are still under the same roof. You have to face it. I feel as though you're being quite smart. I mean, saying 2 years, we'll give it 2 years and then we'll get engaged. I've never heard that a timeline's been put on that before, but appreciate that you kind of want to make sure that you are 100% compatible and that things work out for you living together before you put a ring on it, so to speak. It's a shame that she's making you feel unreasonable, because I don't think you are, but maybe that is the family influence. Maybe that's not actually her. Maybe it's the fact that she has a religious family who want her to be in a committed by ring relationship before she moves on. But let's go to the comments. I think it's perfectly reasonable to lay your cards out on the table when you're serious, see if you're on the same page or in the same book, and then discuss ways to come together to build a partnership, or see if you're incompatible. I'm very much on your side. You want to get to know someone before making a lifetime commitment, and living with them helps 100%. You're going to get to know someone real dang quick when you live together. Well, I don't know what 4 years represents, but if she's not willing to live together before marriage, and if she's not willing to wait for 4 years before the proposal, then you two already have a major incompatibility. I guess if you got engaged, then you can live together, you don't have to get married straight away. Maybe that's what her thoughts are. Maybe she's thinking, actually, if I've got the ring, I can move out and then we'll see from there. But that's still a commitment in a way. That's hard. That's a hard one. You're insane to even consider marriage after only 5 months together. You two are still practically strangers. You are still in the honeymoon phase and have zero clue how compatible you are in the long term. Now this one, I wonder if maybe it's got slightly misconstrued, but they're only talking about the future of getting married, which I guess is a good thing. I do know a lot of people, again, who don't talk about it, and they then don't really, then the relationship doesn't last because one person wants one thing, one person wants another thing. But do remember, things can change, people can change how they feel. But I think that you're smart to want to live together before you make that massive commitment, because getting married is a big commitment. It makes it more complicated to leave when you're married. It makes it harder to break up. everything has to be divided. So yeah, be smart, live together first. I cannot recommend that enough. Anyway guys, that's all we've got for today. There's a couple of Reddit stories, quite a few about marriage and things like that. It's exciting. But like the video if you like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you guys want to see, and do subscribe. We are slowly building up the channel, so every subscribe helps. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.